Hey guys, welcome back. We had a good day in the market. It's July 15th. Let's see, is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. We're going to review the 0-day options today. I trade on SPY and on my small account challenge, how we're doing. CP line numbers came out this morning. Overall was pretty good. Into the nitty gritty, it's a little hot. So anyways, a bit of a gap up this morning and then basically just kind of a sell-off grind most of the day. Volume did get introduced today, which is nice because volume's been low from summer. And on the 30-minute, this is SPY day trading on YouTube. This is his chart. Link for his Discord's in the description. Yeah, so gap up and then basically filled the gap, came down, bounced on 5-day a bit, grinded, and then continued its step down down this orange channel. But yeah, today wasn't a great day. There were some setups. What's nice was the range was a little bit bigger. Let me show you what we did on here. It is a little red day on a small account. Took 2 trades, so like I was saying, I'm gonna try and just do 1 contract for now. It warranted me the ability to do 2 trades, which is nice. That first one's kind of a stop out because I was early. I can just jump back in. Unfortunately, that second trade, I think I was just lacking patience. So sell off out of the open. Pretty small imbalance here, so didn't take any trades here. But did identify potential liquidity being built for the bears with this white and then this magenta, this orange one, whatever that is, red. These are default Thinkorswim colors. And then kind of this tapering green right here, and then this orange, which I actually pulled this orange out pretty quick just from those first 3 candles. I did have it as support down here, which it respected. See here, and then did bust through there just briefly. But yeah, that was kind of another tapering channel. So it did make this taper, which would be signs of it beginning to potentially reverse, but then it actually broke through it down here. So bears took back control. But yeah, my trades. So came down here. I was looking for kind of a retracement trade just because it did start to taper. There wasn't good structure as far as a big head to short it. So I figured I'd try and grab some of the upside. And let's see, where did I take this first one? First one was at 10.18. Okay, yeah, so it broken my green. I don't want to take on that one. I want to take it on the retracement of that resistance that it broke. And I actually wasn't paying that close of attention, or I didn't have this gold here yet. I'm not sure, because I know I had the gold there. I don't know if I'd put it up there yet, but that would have been nice if I'd seen that. That would have given me a little more inclination that this is still bearish. As it didn't break that, didn't really close this cup. Really, this would have been the cup to close in a VWAP test, and breaking that gold, which is the last one other than this one up here. That'd give me more of a range for profit. But it did come up here, rejected that, didn't quite make it to VWAP, so I'm looking for it to retest green, and that's where I took it, was right here on this candle. This green candle got some calls. Well, I guess just one. Got one, and it kind of slowly grinded up. I duplicated this red channel as a just to see if that's what the buying was in, and potentially for to take profits on a break of that. So this green wasn't here at that time either. I was actually waiting. I was waiting for VWAP, or this gold or that gold. But since there's just one contract, I probably would have taken it at VWAP. The most it went up, I think, was like 11%. So it was a real small move, real tight move. And then it broke here, and I didn't take it. And then it broke white and flushed kind of just all in the same time. And so I didn't exit till here, unfortunately. So that was my first red trade. And since I was in that trade to the long side, I, of course, wasn't prepared to get puts on this red candle or any of this green candle, which was the trade because you had liquidity here and you have a head and it's lacking continuous to the upside. However, I don't know if I would have taken that because the risk to reward to the downside here is not very great with this gold. So, yeah, oftentimes not a trade. 90% of the time, there's no trade to take. But that was the first red trade. And then the second trade was... This trade is kind of annoying because I think I just was impatient. And if I just held patience. There was trades later in the day I definitely saw that I could have taken that I will review with you that I did on the long or the big account. See, 1120 I was into puts. So I was at the bottom of the gold here, and at this point I had identified this green channel that kind of broke us out of the gold. So came up, let's see, what was I thinking here? Yeah, I was just impatient. Dang, I hadn't put it in this white one yet. I hadn't seen this bearish controlled selling right here. What was I even thinking? Oh, a retest. Okay, so ahead and kind of rejection on 5-day was here at this point, I think. So kind of rejected 5-day. We had a little bit of liquidity down here. And my thinking was this was a retest on that liquidity, so rejection. I think that's where I got it. Yeah, got puts here, and then sold them here once it broke that gold and grabbed that liquidity. So that was just kind of an impatient trade. And if I wasn't in it that direction, I maybe would have taken it the other way. In fact, I think on the big account I did, because there's a nice little inverse head and shoulder. But again, this is kind of all just liquidity in a tight range. So without it completing cups to the upside, which it eventually did here, but until it does like this one or breaks this top gold, it's bearish, but it doesn't mean you can take puts if it's not having good structure and good retracements. So you can kind of see how it did that later on here. Continued to build liquidity, grinding up this, broke the white, and then retested it. So this is kind of where you could take that short. But again, the move down was very grindy. Very grindy here. So good for futures. I mean, this is still, the range is big enough today, so you can profit on this. You just have to have the confidence to hold through some liquidity being built. Because trying to catch these channels, or catch these candles rather, without clear structure is just, it's a little bit gambly for sure. So again, on this one, it would have been breaking here, but then you're getting a lot of slippage on that red candle. So let me show you what we did on this account. I probably overtrade a little bit on this one. 1122 I was into puts, and then 2532. 1122 into puts. Huh. Right here. Now, what was I thinking there? Was that puts? Hold on. Oh, those were calls. Okay, that makes more sense. I think, yeah, calls. So yeah, that's that inverse head and shoulder that I was catching. But again, it's still kind of in a big wedge here. So that's where you gotta be quick on profits. So got it here, sold for profit at 25 at that resistance. So this was yesterday's high, I believe, this blue line. And then 25, 32. So 32 is red. What did the last one sell? Oh, I got it more. Interesting. Yeah, so 25 and 32. 25 was just slightly green. Like I said, the range is just a nice range, but we're just in a wedge. So, and then 32 was like break even. But yeah, once it broke this red, that's when I closed. I was on that red candle. And then I bought 2 more. Oh yeah, I remember this trade. About 2 more to 35. So then I was just trying to trading this white channel, which you can do it. You can trade however you want, but why was I so early on that? Is that really 32? 35. Oh, okay, I bought back in at 35. Yeah, on this candle. So I started to grind up in this white. Given that this at this point I was believing was bears building liquidity, I thought they could still build liquidity all the way up to this gold at least, or even higher potentially, but maybe even VWAP. And they did for a bit, but it was just it's a very, very slight channel. I mean, if it grind up this, you literally would probably just be break even the whole time on calls. Just naked calls, unless you had spreads maybe. Futures would have worked, of course, for that, for trading just a channel like that. But yeah, I got calls in there, sold some, and then bought back in on the bottom of that channel, and then sold one at 44, 50, 44 and 50. Let's see, 50. Yeah. So just this same resistance up here, yesterday's high, and then it was kind of rejecting it here. Wasn't going to be greedy for VWAP at this point. And then 50, yeah, right here on the break of the red, I sold. I think that was the last one. So that was a green trade. The first ones I bought at at 350, sold for 440, 450, and then I stopped out at 370 on one of them. And 1158. Let's see. This was a red trade. 1158 to 1205. I was into puts. Oh yeah, this one was annoying. So I was kind of distracted at this point. I think I was doing something else on the computer or something. But this was actually a nice trade that I just yeah, I gotta be focused and not get complacent, because this was a clear break on this white. We have shoulders, we have liquidity to grab, this being the head. It also perfectly rejected this gold for the head. Broke down. This one is annoying to review. This one came up, retouched the white, so I had the right idea. I got into puts there. Yeah, and I sold all of them for a small loss at 1205. Literally that candle right before it. Okay, so it was on the break of this green is why I sold it. But so I had to find risk, which is good. It was, if it breaks the green, I'm going to sell it. The problem is it's not necessarily selling this green, so that doesn't mean a whole lot. Really, my stop on this has to be breaking back into the white, and that's tricky because that white's moving up, so my puts are decaying in value exponentially as that moves up. If not for this one, at least the gold, and that was just a pretty big range, so that's why I was like, if it doesn't keep selling a green, we get rid of it. And I make this mistake sometimes, I need to fix it. Yeah, if it made clear structure, then sure, that'd be great. Like if it just built this shoulder right here and then kept cruising and then came up for a little head and rejected the white and the gold there, then it would have been a clear puts right to grab that liquidity, or even just on the rejection if you wanted, but it didn't. It was grabbing this shoulder here, right here, and then, so these candles are good for, you know, 0-day options. This were probably 50% if you had bought it at a pretty good spot in here, which I did. And then you could leave one for kind of a runner, but this is pretty nasty. Good liquidity build right here. This is midday, I guess, almost 1 o'clock there. Did the same thing again, built liquidity with this white channel, broke it. Not big retracements, not a whole lot of structure, but you still could have taken it there. And the selling was in this purple again, which is a good way to define your profit taking and stuff. So closing most or all, where it breaks that, you could theoretically do, because the green wasn't really showing up much anymore. It was just this white for building liquidity, and then the gold. What did I take? Man, yeah, that one was, I was like, oh man, shouldn't have got complacent on it. 111. Yeah, then the options, like that time of day, it's one candle on slippage in and out, and you're fighting a lot. So that was a red trade. 111, open and close in the same minute, and 420 to 340. That 111. What is that? Those are puts. Yeah, this was kind of a chase. I remember this. Didn't make structure. I kind of knew better. That's why I got out so quick. It's right on this candle. So I had the white channel here at that time, and then I moved it down. Oh yeah, could have had this retracement trade, this zone of mutual interest trade, as Eric likes to say. For me, I'm trying to think where, using his strategy, I don't know what channel. I mean, I'm not looking at his lines anymore. I'm just doing my own. So maybe he had some algo that was breaking here where you could have gone long. You kind of had a little inverse head and shoulder here, but I guess for me it would maybe be this is liquidity down here and it breaking out above it. I could open it there just for a stop on that liquidity. That's for zone of mutual interest trade, but it really wasn't great to me. However, we did then complete this cup right here. Still inside that gold, unfortunately. So not a whole lot of confirmation for the upside, even for a retracement. But I think I did get calls here on this little handle. Let me see. Puts 111. Oh, did I not get calls there? 1205. Wait a minute, where are we? One. Yeah, where does that stop? It's hard for me to see it on here. 1158 to 1205, I was in puts. Oh, that's where I accidentally sold. Or no, that was a stop out. 1158 to 1205. Jeez, we're way past that. It's too hot in here, I can't think. 111, okay, there's that stop, there we go. 116 to 117, another stop out. Puts 116 to 117. As you can see, I'm in and out very quickly though. Yeah, I did it again down here. Small little loss. Gotta get rid of those paper cuts. 149 to 150 in calls. Another little stop out. Oh, this was the one. Dang it, this was that candle. I remember this one. So this is making that handle after this cup. So I got calls here, and then I didn't have a clear stop on it, so I think that's why I just closed on this red candle. It was a full bodied candle. Grabbing this, maybe this little liquidity here, and it was still rejecting that gold. Yeah. Yep, little red trade there. Let's see if I recovered. I did, so I got calls in at 152. So I saw my air. I unfortunately didn't hold those and I got a little whipsaw in there. Didn't whipsaw, I didn't go back to puts at least. But then waited for gold to break and got calls right here at 152. So for that same reason that I just mentioned. And then this was a nice green trade. Yeah, 152, but even these weren't moving much at all. To 158, so that was 430 to 530. So on this green candle, kind of just trying to catch a big green candle. And then 201, not as much of a profit on that candle. So big engulfing candle on the red. I think I had a different channel here, maybe. I'm not sure, but I mean, this is just pretty tight range, grindy stuff. It's not like we're gonna do anything crazy in there. And then sold the last one at 219 for 550, so that was my best exit. 219, yeah, on that red candle. That was the engulfing candle. So I guess I could have gotten puts here. I don't. It did like perfectly respect this gold with previous high, or just this high a day from the morning, which is so cool to see, and it just lines up almost perfect. I guess when in the middle of the day, the structure is so much more, it takes more time to build, so it's just not as clear for me because this whole thing is ahead instead of it just being like a couple steep candles. But yeah, we have a clear shoulder down here that did end up grabbing. Don't mind this blue one. I just drew this to kind of see if this was one to be respected. I don't think it really was. I know Emperor had a couple different channels that were less aggressive than my white there. But then you do have this little head and shoulder here, so you have a little inverse cup with a handle, and then you also have, of course, that rejection on the gold. Work to take this. Yeah, there's just not a great. It's a bit of a chase on this one, to me, for me at least. Either getting puts at of resistance more or less, but I mean, even just this chop in here, you're gonna lose, or you're getting the, yeah. So waiting for structure on that one would just be tough because there's not a whole lot. So this candle is what grabbed that liquidity, and then you could kind of chase it in there, I guess, but to manage your risk, it would have to be of this purple, which in hindsight's great, but when it's happening, it's hard to know. So that trade, yeah, I'm not too bummed. I don't think I maybe caught a little bit of it, a little scalp on it, but I'm not too bummed that I think I missed that. Yeah, 152. Yeah, I did miss that. So then, end of day, I did catch a couple little snipes in the 10-minute move. Puts at 350. Okay, yeah, that's right. So not a very big structure, but we do have this liquidity being built in this blue channel right here, which I think this lined up with Emperors. I finally saw it. And then we have a shoulder here and a head. And then problem is risk rewards, you know, low of days, kind of first take profit. So here's the 350 candle, which broke it and then kind of closed above it. And I'm in it on that. And I'm like, oh man, it's kind of closing above it. And then it came down below it. I'm like, all right. But it's very slow and grindy for the 10-minute move. And for my entry being here and not like much higher, I was just pretty quick to get out, which is a good thing to do for the 10-minute move. The 10-minute move really is supposed to be kind of a lotto, like with prior profits and not stopping out, not closing it, just pretty much holding it to worthless or to, you know, thousands of percent or whatever. Especially if you got the right strike. I know Emperor shared on his chart. He got 15 cents to $10. So he picked a strike lower than mine. These are 6255s. He picked 6250s. Got them for 15 cents. Mine were $3. Let's see. Yeah. $3. So I'm usually not getting him that far to the money because I'm still trading it normally. I'm not treating him as a lotto. If I'm up big on the day, maybe I would. But yeah. So 350. Opened at $3.60. Closed the first one at 353. Or 430. So nice little gain. The next one for a small loss at 320. And that was at 355. So, and then the last one I closed, this was a green to red candle. So annoying. Should have had patience because sometimes you get a volatility move at 5, the 355. So let's see, 350 opened it, 353, 355. Yeah, the 350 opened it, closed one at 353 on this candle, which was a nice little gainer. Closed another one at 353. No, then 355, two of them. Yeah, so closed one for a small gain at 355, and then this just went super green. Closed the other one up here for a loss. That was like 210. That was an ugly loss. Yeah, it's 360 to 210. And then that one went red. I'm like, should have held that one. It's hard. Gotta wait for the candles to close. And then the last 10 minutes, though, it's like, that's why you kind of have to treat it as a lotto and just hold through all that stuff and not have stops. But did end up chasing it actually after that because it continued on the trajectory. But since I didn't have a good fill and I was just jumping in, I was very quick to get out. So 356 to 357 went $5.50 to $6.90. So yeah, on that candle, or wait, no, what is it? 356, yeah. Yeah, this one. So went green to red on that candle on the 355 marker, and then 356, little green, I just got him in. It was a bit of a risk play. I mean, it was low of day already, but given I could have held these much longer than I did, but it's hard to do that when your entry's not, you know, you're not a long ways from your entry. So I was happy to just take one candle and call it. But yeah, these ended up doing, these were like in the money, I think, at that point too. So if they were out of money, it would have been much more exponential gains. So these went to $11. So I went from 550 to, I mean, they're at 11 now, or I think they closed at 11. So would have been over 100% on those, but yeah, sketchy end of day stuff. Red on, I think, both accounts. Small red on, I'll have to do the math on this. Do you guys know how to do it on Active Trader Pro? On Fidelity, like daily? I don't have any daily P&L on like SPY. I don't know how to do it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money 6 round. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with patience and complacency. No, non-complacency. Wait. Non-complacency. That sounds bad, but that's good. I don't want to be complacent. All right. See you tomorrow. Peace out.